Oh, Dave. Yeah,
Dave.
I know who that is. I just forgot who it was. All right, so it's
Mustache.
live now. We're live now, but I'm not ready to go
So
yet.
I shouldn't say that again.
It, you say what?
What I just said, don't act like you don't know.
I didn't hear what you said. What did you say?
Niggas.
Oh yeah, try not to say that. Yeah, no.
He's
Uh,
black, you know
Not
how it
my
is.
kind of language. Sorry.
Okay.
I mean, it's just like I'm not gonna pin it, penalize,
Penalized.
penalize. Is that the word? You know what? Shut up.
Well,
I'm not gonna talk about my vocabulary
I,
anymore.
I referenced the like that Chappelle
It's
Show
alright, I
skit
asked how to spell
fairly
taco the other day.
frequently, but I make up for my overuse of the word by doing my part for the cause.
Hold on a second. Let me make the description for this. All right, so now I gotta put the hashtags. I didn't feel like typing the whole thing, so I said it out loud. Let's see, Game of Thrones, and then what else? YouTube retweets. Whoops.
What do you mean the site can't be reached? I'll fuck you up.
So do you see the live broadcast right now? Or do you see it? Are you clicked on it?
I don't see a live broadcast.
It's under Nevermind Studios,
I
and you
don't
should
even.
see it at the very front page. It's up there because I just managed to find
Yeah,
it myself.
I'm on Nevermind Studios. It says first Siri Rivers concept video is what it says.
Try refreshing the page because it's there.
My laptop is acting like it can't see the fucking router right now, but all the lights on the router and the modem are fucking lit up the way they're supposed to be. So I don't know what the hell my laptop is on about right now. It says signal strength excellent, but it says limited access. Like, what the fuck are you doing? Stop
Mhm.
this.
Well, as long as you guys can hear his voice, and you're like,
Well, you can. It's just Well,
won't be able to
I
see the
guess I can
images,
try,
but
and he won't be
you'll
able
know
to
what
see
you're
the
I mean,
talking
images
about.
though.
I'm not lagging or breaking up or anything, am I? Like the internet's working
No, I
fine on
can
my
hear
end.
you. No, you're fine. I can hear you. Uh,
Yeah, Pink
I
should be
forgot to
alright as
ask.
long as he knows the topic he's going over. No,
Okay,
I mean,
so
in the
everything's getting
interest of
retweeted.
saving time.
Alrighty, so how would you like to be called, by the way?
I don't know.
Well, I mean, how do I say your name?
His name's pronounced Akateru.
Akateru. Okay, that's
That's
a good
why I
name.
call him Pink, though. Easier to call him Pink.
Pink. Oh, Pinky. Right.
Pink.
Okay. Pink. Okay. All right. Hello, guys, and welcome
Go
back to
Habovish.
Nevermind Studios podcast, very first podcast, and we're going to be going over the episode of Game of Thrones, season 7, episode 4. And I have with me a new friend. So, his name is Pink. Right. We're gonna call him Pink. Pinky. Um, the Pinky in the brain. So what else? Oh yeah. The last stream I did, if you were watching that one, I do apologize for the disconnection. We had like 51 views for that one right there. I don't know if you knew that, Phoenix. But yeah, so
51 views, holy crap.
yeah, 51 views for that one. And I do apologize for the disconnection for that one. But we're so what I'm gonna do is just start over completely with a new guy. Um, Pink. So go ahead and give a shout out to the people. Pink, what's up? What's you all about? Let's hear it.
Dracaris. All I gotta
Oh
say
yeah,
right
Dirk. All right. So here's how we're gonna do it.
now.
So we're gonna start out. I'm gonna roll pictures in. Hopefully you'll be able to catch up on your computer. I'm gonna roll pictures here. We're gonna start off going scene at a time from beginning to end of the episode. So I'm probably going to start with the first two scenes here. So I'm going to let this roll. Let's get started. I'm ready. Are you ready? Winter is here. Winter's coming. I don't know, whatever. So the first scene we have here is Jaime Lannister getting the gold out of the wagon and handing it straight to Bronn. Actually, Bronn. I forgot that dude's name at first. There's so many people that have similar names,
You're
like
right.
Bronn, Bran, Brigon, whatever. Dickon. I was like, what? That's not funny.
Dick on.
I was like, that's not funny. Like,
That was
I was like,
hilarious.
it was not. It was just.
If
uh,
they had Beavis and Butthead in Westeros, Bronn would be the #1 fan.
Bron. Well, thing is, like, Bron is an okay character for me. I'm just like sitting there, like, why is he's still alive? But you know, it's still okay. I thought he might be a bigger deal in this episode, but or at least in the season. So he's not. We're not done. We still have like 3 episodes left. So, but yeah, so basically they're transporting the gold. As soon as I saw this scene though, because I saw the promo and the trailer, I knew that I was like, yeah, that gold's gonna have some problems in transportation. So, after that we see I'm gonna get ready for the pictures. Okay, there we go. After that, we see Cersei Lannister talking to the guy from the Iron Bank, drinking her, her most favored wine. I wish I knew which one it was. Mine would be raspberry juice, but that's not wine. Just pretend it is, because I don't drink. Yeah, this raspberry juice is great. But okay, so from starting off from this scene, what did you, from those two scenes I just talked about, what did you think about them, Pink? About the wagon of gold? I was like, ooh, that's not gonna make it.
I think it wasn't really justified for Jamie to have such an attitude about Bronn
Oh,
wanting his gold.
right,
He's been
yeah,
trying to
he
set
was
up a
pissed.
castle
I
for
remember.
a
Okay,
long
yeah,
fucking time.
yeah, I remember. So he talked about, oh, why are you so mad? I forgot about that. He said he would save his confessions for the for the High Scepter, and Bronn was like, "There is no more High Scepter." He's like, "No, there's not, is there?" I was
Well, you
like,
figure
"Oh, that's
Jamie's still
mean."
got to be pretty salty about
What he
Olenna's
said,
last
yeah. So
words.
last episode, Jamie was told that the Queen of Thorns actually poisoned Joffrey, and not. I don't know, who did he think killed Joffrey? I mean, honestly, I didn't even think about him actually caring about who killed Joffrey. I thought everybody hated Joffrey.
As as much as he loves his brother, I think that he probably was of the same school of thought as Cersei and thinking that
No,
Tyrion
cause
was
he went to his cell, like feeding him, making sure he was okay, and he joked
well,
about
yeah,
like,
that's his
oh look,
brother.
you got a place to go to the bathroom, and you know, it's just like it was a better place than I was when I was with Bob Stark. So I was like, I think they were on a better terms than until I think it was when uh what's his name, Tyrion, because I'm mixing up everybody's name. I think Tyrion and Jamie started butting heads when Tyrion killed Tywin Lannister, and then he was
Jamie
just
wasn't
like,
too happy
wait.
about that.
No, he wasn't. I mean, like, I don't think he felt superb about his father, but I guess he didn't want him to die. So, but yeah, so it's still a little bit of confusion in their relationships to me. But
Like at the end of the day, Tywin was ruthless, but he wasn't an asshole like Joffrey. Joffrey was just
yeah,
terrible.
yeah,
So,
yeah. That's why I was like, so why are you so mad about Joffrey dying? I mean, that's
like
like
even as
everybody
the
hates
kid's father,
Joffrey.
he has to understand that Joffrey was not going to work out.
Yeah, I mean, I was just like, I was actually hoping for a more brutal death scene and him just choking and turning purple. But okay, I guess the fact that he still had enough strength to point out the wrong, or I just think he wanted to put another how do you say it? What's the way, another rod onto, or let's just say cut off Tyrion's head, basically, when he pointed at Tyrion before he died.
Yeah.
I think he just wanted to like kind of like be like, you know what, I want you dead.
Well, if
Like
this
I
guy
think
keeps
he knew
slapping
he
the
didn't
shit
do
out of
it,
me, I
but
would want that guy to die too.
yeah, because he didn't. He was asking him to kneel, and he refused to do it. And that was like one of my favorite scenes where he's just like, "Yeah, I'm not kneeling." He just stood there holding the cup, and I'm like, "What's he gonna do?" And then and then Marjorie interrupts and like, "Look, pie!" Like nobody cares about the pie. Everybody go back to what they were doing. Like, nobody cares about this pie. We're in an intense moment right now. She's like, look, pie. Like, I don't even like pie. But alright, so let's move on from this scene. So we're at the Iron Bank scene, and moving on, Iron Bank and Cersei to Bran. See, this is where I'm getting mixed up with names. Bran and Littlefinger. So Littlefinger hands the dagger to Bran, talking about so what was he talking about? Like, I can't remember exactly the words he used. He's basically saying like, "I'm supporting you, Bran, new Lord of Winterfell now," or something like that. He thinks he's the new Lord of Winterfell, and they did show a little bit of a well, not a trailer, like a little flashback at the beginning of this episode, talking about Littlefinger and Varys' discussion of chaos as a ladder, and what Bran knew that he wasn't going to be fooled by Littlefinger. Like, he was just like, uh, what am I gonna use this dagger for? Like, and it's just like, it's really cool to see how I just know he's being played. Oops, I went over to another picture, but don't worry about
Yeah,
it. We're just gonna keep going. But what do you think about that? The little
Littlefinger. Littlefinger is pretty transparent in this scene. I think more so than we're used to seeing him be. His entire motivation is to get Sansa for his bride,
right?
and obviously Jon Snow's not going to let that happen. So here's Bran, true-born son of Ned Stark,
Yeah,
and he's thinking Bran coming back, he's going to be Lord of Winterfell, and then if he gets in good with Bran, then he's going to get his way. But not only does Bran know a lot more about what all happened there, since he seems
he
to have
knows
really
past,
come into
present, and
the leader,
future.
but even if Bran were to be the Lord of Winterfell now, like,
You
it's
still
just
wouldn't
not
be
going to work
fooled,
out that way because Lord of Winterfell or not, Jon Snow is king in the North. You know, like
right?
with
Yeah. As
everything
soon as
that's
he gets
coming in,
back,
the
it's
Lords
gonna
of the North
be
aren't going to
him.
turn their back on Snow.
Well, that too, but also you gotta remember that he's a bastard, and Bran isn't. So I mean, who
Even
knows?
even with Jon Snow being a bastard, though, like, okay, Brandon Stark is the true-born heir to Ned Stark. That's all good and well, but Jon Snow has been behind the wall. Jon Snow has fought the White Walkers and the Whites. Jon Snow won the Battle of the Bastards. Jon Snow is king in the North. There's not a single lord north of the fucking twins that's gonna turn around and say, well, yeah, but Brandon, you know, like, no. Not even
Yeah,
Lyanna Mormont is going to bend the knee to
yeah,
Brandon Stark
you're
at that
right.
point.
Yeah, but I mean, like, what I was also what I was mentioning before though was the chaos is a ladder thing that he said. I had to rewind and try and figure out what the heck he said. So I was like, chaos is a ladder. What the heck? So I remember that's something he was talking about with Varys when he was talking about the real price, or not prize that he wanted, which was the Iron Throne.
Right.
And so the fact that Bran repeated that to him when he was just having this private conversation with Varys, I'm pretty sure that that got him to back up and be like, "Wait, how did you know that I said
Right.
that?"
Because,
So
that's
like,
the end goal to getting Sansa to be his wife, is then Littlefinger has the north end of Vale, and he can work on the rest of the south.
I have somebody in the comment section saying Jon Snow is the true king of Skyrim. No, no, we're not gonna even mix up with the wizards
Well,
and all that stuff.
if Jon Snow is the king of Skyrim, how can that be when obviously Daenerys is the Dragonborn?
Well, it's funny. I haven't finished Skyrim, so I'm not even going to talk about it. Back to this though, real quick. So the next scene here was also Mira comes in to interrupt, and basically she's getting like this robot expression from Braun. She's like, I'm gonna leave, and you don't even need me anymore. And then he agrees, like, yeah, I don't need you. I'm like, wait, that's it? Like, I was like, well, I mean, what did you expect? I mean, he's kind of a robot now. You look at him, like, you've been. I mean, it's not like as soon as he left that tree, you should have seen what he is like personally. So why does this surprise you? But
Yeah, when you've literally seen everything, at some point all of the shit that somebody's coming to expect at like a big dramatic parting like that, it's just not relevant,
Yeah, yeah,
and
no, it's not. I
you
feel
don't
bad for
have
her.
any
She
reason
did a
to
lot
pretend
of
anymore.
work. Yeah,
Oh yeah,
she did a
oh yeah.
lot of
She
work
she
getting them there.
she gave up a lot. She sacrificed a lot, and I mean, I think Mira Reed did a lot more than was expected of her. I didn't expect either of the Reeds to make it through all that,
Yeah.
but
It's too
you
bad
know,
it wasn't a
it's a
four
different
star.
ball game.
I would have been happy if it was a 4 star actually from like Game of Thrones Telltale series. I would have been like, this was better than what I thought. But no, it's just but yeah, no, I feel bad for her and maybe she'll come back. People have been saying that she might not come back this season, but she might come back maybe season 8, who knows? I mean, I don't think this is the end for her character, but it's just it
She's
is
too
I am sad.
competent of a fighter to not feature prominently when the big battle comes.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, yeah, she might be somewhere in the background. Maybe she'll like see the White Walkers come and be like, "Oh crap, we're all gonna die." But I mean, as for being a big part of the story, I think the season before this, or no, because Bran wasn't even in the season before this. Actually, he was like not shown at all. So he's just like, "I'm going into hibernation season," and then
Well,
came out.
Martin does that with the books too. Like you'll go through a whole book and just like I think the one book there was one chapter with Arya and then nothing till the next book,
Gone.
and you're just wondering like what the hell happened to Arya.
Because she's went
But
into
yeah,
hibernation. She's gonna come out a warrior. That's everybody's thing in this, except for Sansa. Sansa didn't go into hibernation. So, but we'll
yeah,
get to her in a minute.
I saw a meme on Facebook where it's got Jon Snow came back from the dead, Bran came back, he's a three-eyed raven,
And then
Arya
there's
came back,
Sansa or
she's
something.
murdered 70 people. Sansa's like, what the fuck? Why are you guys all weird now?
I think I would make a meme being like, here's Jon Snow, the king in the north. Here's Bran, the tree goddess. Here's Arya, the assassin. And then there's Sansa. That's it, just Sansa. And like, she doesn't do anything. But but yeah, so hopefully we'll see more of Mira. Let me see, what's the next thing I have here? But yeah, sad to see her character go. So next scene though we have here is even better hype. As soon as they switch from that scene all the way to Arya looking upon Winterfell, I was like, oh my god. I thought from this point, I thought she wasn't gonna make it until maybe like the end of the episode, seeing how far away she is. But then maybe she'd just like rush through there with the horse, like, come on, hurry up, we gotta get to Winterfell. Like, but like, that would have been me. Like, hurry up and get there already. But the fact that they
Uh,
didn't waste no time, like they just like, okay, she's here and now she's here.
in
Straight up.
general, this season they're really speeding up the timetable. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
Jon Snow is leaving Winterfell at the end of one episode, and the beginning of the next episode. Hi, I'm at Dragonstone, and like you figure,
I was like, wait, so
even with the
weren't we gonna
forced
wait
march, it's
another
at
few
least 2 weeks
episodes?
from Winterfell to the port, and then like at
Right.
least a week or two sailing. Like they just skipped a month right
That
there.
usually takes longer though, yeah. Like everything usually
Yeah,
takes longer for some reason. Usually, and
like
I thought it was to give other characters extra time, or at least some time on
right,
the screen. But now it's just like, okay, it's gonna be these characters today, and which is the same thing the way they've been doing it before. Like these characters today, tomorrow will be these characters. Like I wouldn't be surprised if we don't really go back to Winterfell next Sunday, if we just only hear about them because
right.
we'll talk about the trailer at the end of this for the next episode. But so Arya ends up getting straight up to the gate in like less than a minute after seeing Winterfell from the distance, and runs into these stupid idiots, the guards, who tell her to go, and like they don't believe she's Arya Stark, which I guess makes sense because they assume she's dead, but they could have gone at this in an easier way. Like they're
I
like,
thought Fat Boy was about to get wrecked.
I actually, as soon as they said, started laughing at the fact that she said she was Arya Stark, I was like, kill him, just kill him. Like I was like, yeah, just cut them down. We don't need to worry about them. But then maybe she wouldn't want to because they're Winterfell soldiers. So maybe she didn't want to cut them down or kill them because they are from Winterfell. So, um, but yeah, eventually she's telling them like, oh yeah, she does this Matrix move also when he tries to grab her. Like whoops, like nope, you can't touch me. I was hoping at that point he would have cut her head. She would have cut his hand or something, like cut his hand off or something.
but
Yeah.
no violence at the gate of Winterfell. But so basically, she's like, I'm gonna go in there one way or another, and if I tell Sansa that you guys didn't let me in, you guys are screwed. And I was just like, yeah. They're looking at each other and they're just, maybe we should let her in. uh, but that was really good though. I'm glad they let her in. I was, as soon as she sat down, I was telling her, I was in my mind, I'm like telling her, you better not move from that freaking spot. I swear to God, if you walk back to Lannister, go back to the King's Landing, I was just getting so mad as soon as she got up and left, and they were like, where did she go? I was just like, dang it! I was just so mad. I was like, why did she move? Why did she move? Oh my God, she's right there. And then Sansa, the guards went and told Sansa that some girl came up and claiming she was Arya Stark, and she was like, yeah, I know where she is. And I guess they said something that convinced Sansa that it was actually Arya. Maybe mentioning the Maesters of Winterfell, probably the ones that are dead already.
Yeah,
But
there's not a lot of people alive now
yeah,
that would
so
know this.
some of the names she probably mentioned probably rung a bell, and Sansa like, yo, that's definitely got to be her because I don't think anybody else knows about them. So, but yeah, she ends up she knows where she is, and she basically ends up being in the shrine, looking at Ned Stark's stone version of himself, which is the statue version of himself. And we have the reunion, and I'm just like, I'm in my seat going,
Wait, there's weed in Game of Thrones?
yes! Huh?
There's weed in Game of Thrones? I better start watching.
No. They have
Well,
other activities. Like, I don't even want to get into it. It's just other activities that make it more. No, just everything about Game of Thrones is more interesting than weed, to be honest. But then, I won't say that because I don't smoke it. but so basically they end up being in the shrine, the statue being in Ned Stark, and Arya. They hug it out, and I'm just happy that somebody's hugging because with the uh, Bran coming in, and he didn't even really hug Sansa. I was just like, so that's it, like,
Yeah, like
like,
he just expects that these things are expected of him, and he just kind of deals with it for now.
yeah, he's just like, I was like a little disappointed with that reunion. I'm like, so what happened? Like, I was actually trying to get some feels, and there was nothing there. But with this one, it was a little bit better. So they hugged it out. They were smiling. Um, Arya, I don't know what got them on the. I can't remember what actually got them to talk about Arya's list of names she was gonna kill, and Sansa laughed as if she was joking, and Arya laughed too, like she was trying to throw her off. Like, yeah, it's funny, but I'm serious
Well,
though.
it's she kind of does this thing where, like 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 when she met with those Lannisters in the woods. You
Yeah.
know, she kind of does this thing where,
Oh
like,
yeah.
she gives zero fucks. She will say what's going on, and you take it how you want to take it.
Everybody's
like,
laughing and she's laughing with them though. It's just like she said the same thing. We're like, why are
it
you
was
going
like
to
she,
King's
she
Landing? Oh, I'm
sized
gonna
them
kill
up, she
Cersei.
counted them, and she saw their weapons and everything, and she was like, yeah, yeah, I'm gonna kill Cersei. And like,
Yeah,
if you guys want to try and kill me, I'll waste all of you right here, right now. So
I guess yeah. I guess
let's
she
eat
doesn't have
this
a
rabbit
filter
then.
anymore. Yeah, I would think
Yeah,
she would try
she
and
has
keep
no
that more.
filter.
I would think she would try and keep that to herself. Like I was like, don't tell them. I mean,
Like,
yeah,
and these aren't just Lannister bannermen. They're actually wearing the Lannister red. Like, these are Lannisters.
yeah. But what's funny
Uh,
though is actually interesting to see that side of them though, like them just actually being kind of like human
right, and
beings.
there's a few scenes or I mean, not to drag back to the previous episode and all, but like I think right there it strikes home for Arya that while the people on her list might be evil scum and everything, like
The
these
people working
people
for them,
are just people.
right?
Like they don't have a choice of where they were born and what army they're in. And I think she probably got off of her horse intending to
Well,
kill them all.
we
It was
still don't even
probably
exactly.
so
We
much.
still don't even know what happened to them.
Yeah, true.
What
True.
happened
She
to
might have killed them all.
yeah, like we don't even know.
Like,
Well,
who knows? They
we
might
do see
show up
them
and be like,
part
"You see these
ways.
guys here? They're dead."
At the crossroads, they ride off south and she turns north. So like we do know
Oh, I
like
didn't see
they
them. No, I
yeah.
actually didn't look at them. Oh, okay. Well, shoot. All right. Well, let's hope that they are still alive. Because now, I mean, even though they're gonna work
Well,
for
I mean,
Cersei,
they
it
might have
just
been a
sucks.
high guy.
They might. I mean, I'm pretty sure if Daenerys actually takes the Iron Throne, I'm pretty sure those people wouldn't mind switching sides.
Yeah, not
Depending
at
on their
all.
attitude, like, I don't think they like Cersei, but they're just dealing with it right now.
Right.
They're just like, yeah, she'll kill us if we don't,
It
you know.
it beats being hanged as a deserter.
Right. Let me see. We have a comment here. Hello, hey, Minko. We're just talking about some Game of Thrones, so I'm gonna go to the next scene here. We're at the shrine. And let's see, what's the next one here? Okay, right. So, oh yeah. Okay, so Sansa brings up that Bran is also Bran. I keep calling Bran. See, I keep mixing up the names. So Bran is also here, and Arya's like, "Oh my God, he's here!" But Sansa's like, "Yeah, he's here." But it's like, well, so why aren't you excited? Like, hello. And Arya, like, that smile comes right off. Like, what happened? Like, did his legs get cut off, or like, so basically they meet up at the, what's that tree called? That tree that's in Winterfell. Do you know what that's called? The tree?
Uh, I forget what the trees specifically are called,
If
but
anybody
I
knows
know
what the
it's the
tree is
Godspeed.
called, feel free to put it in the comments because I
Uh,
forgot what that tree
a
is called.
weirwood tree. Weirwood
Werewood,
tree.
I think. Yeah, werewood tree. So basically, you meet up at the big red werewood tree that's in every intro episode of Game of Thrones. So, um, but yeah, they meet up here, and they hug it out, and I'm actually seeing Bran actually hug Arya back, and I was like, oh, thank you. I mean, can thank you for showing some emotion. I mean, he still has the emo look on his face, but at least he's hugging Arya back, so that's a start. But so um, let's see. Somebody answer that question. Do you guys notice Bran's face when he gave the dagger to Arya? Oh, I did. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Look like he sees some vision at the moment. Right. Yeah. No, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. I'm talking about. I'm getting at that now. So basically, here you see Bran getting ready to give Arya the dagger. So, or maybe this is when he actually gives her the dagger. So, at that moment, that's when he starts to talk about Littlefinger actually giving it to him, and Sansa was like, "Why did he give it to you?" He's just like, he thought I would want it, no, no, because it tried to kill me, and then I'm still trying to figure out why the heck that makes sense. Like, is that sending you a bad message, or like don't mess with me message, or like that still doesn't make sense. Giving you a dagger that tried to kill you, like, okay, whatever. Let's just let that pass. But
I think what
yeah,
Littlefinger's trying to demonstrate there is, to back up what he was saying about always trying to have their backs because, he's trying to look out for his memory of their mother. So, him
right.
coming by that dagger
Oh
obviously
yeah,
means he done
he
something
was talking
against
about that mother and that his mother in that scene. Yeah.
against the people that tried to act against Bran. But yeah, yeah, like Miko just commented, Littlefinger trying to get on Bran's good side again because he thinks that that's going to get him closer to
Yeah.
Sansa, since the road through Jon
I
is
mean, I think he
blocked.
tried doing the same thing with John too, mentioning the mother. Like that's some sort of safety
Yeah,
word. like
that
like
that
remember your
almost got
mother?
him killed.
Yeah, your mother.
You know,
Like, holy crap, what are you doing?
but
like
Bran knows when Littlefinger gives Bran the dagger and he says, "Do you know who this belongs to?" Like he says it with a kind of gravity where he's not talking about whoever tried to have Bran killed. He's talking about the original wielder of
Oh
that
right,
dagger.
yeah. But the funny
And
thing is that I'm pretty sure Bran knows anyway.
yeah, and I mean with
He
that kind
Littlefinger
of
doesn't know.
gravity,
Mhm.
I think I think he's talking about like history that goes back to the first time the Night King came south.
I'm still
But
confused
he's
about
talking
that
about
whole
something
first time thing
serious.
too. Like, what the heck? Who's the first children? Who made them? I mean, where did this whole
Oh
universe
well,
came from? Dragons
I'm
and
sure
crap.
we'll be getting to that based on one of the scenes later. We'll wait on that one.
Yeah, I mean, like as soon as they showed that whole scene with the tree people and them making White Walkers, I was like, so where did they come from? But then a lot of things don't make sense to where like people are coming back to life after they die and all that. So I'm just like, whatever, magic exists in this world. I'll take it.
Right.
But okay, so getting back to the scene though. So basically, Bran doesn't want the dagger, so he ends up giving it to Arya. And so he was mentioning Micah. How do you say your name? Manko. Manko was saying something about the look that Bran gave to Arya. It wasn't really given to Arya. It's just the way he looked at it when he gave it to the dagger to Arya. And I was thinking the same thing too, actually. Well, I was just like, huh, maybe he's doing that for a purpose, actually. Like it's supposed to do something with for Arya. So I don't know. What do you think about that though? His little reaction to giving
I,
her the dagger.
I think Sansa kind of shit herself a little bit when Bran confirms that Arya has a list of names she's going to kill. But
Oh
the
yeah,
the the fact that the dagger is Valyrian steel also tells you that
they
like
might be
this is a
killing White
major plot
Walkers.
device. There's not a single piece of Valyrian steel on the board right now that's not a major plot piece. And for that
Exactly.
weapon to find its way into her hands with her skill set, I mean, she has a very particular set of skills that she's developed over a very long
Like Liam
career.
Neeson.
Yeah, and like so something major by the end of the season is going to take place. I mean, Arya's probably not going to be leaving Winterfell or straying very far from it at least before this season is over, because
For sure, yeah.
that weapon
Everybody's
is
got a
going to
freaking.
have to be on
Everybody
the
in
planet.
almost at least every part of the country has one. Like except for Dawn, I guess. I don't think Dawn has one. Um, but I think Brienne has a what's it called, Valerian steel dagger. Now Arya, um, and John has one. Who else has one? I mean, well, they're going to get dragon
The
glass now, so
Lannisters, the Lannisters have Valyrian steel.
somewhere.
Obviously, Jon Snow has House Mormont's sword. Ice was supposed to have been returned to Winterfell in the books. I don't remember seeing that scene in the show, but I know in the books Ice does get returned to Winterfell. I don't know who has it now.
Right.
Um, I think Highgarden had one, but I can't for the life of me remember whose
I
sword
don't
it
remember
is.
either. I just remember them cutting up that sword. But Miko said because the only move Littlefinger have now to put Stark versus Stark right cast as a ladder. Yes, yes. I mean that's exactly. I feel like that's probably exactly what he's gonna do. That's what everybody thinks he was gonna do. It's Jon Snow and Stark, like with their little argument there. But I don't think they're gonna go that far, to be honest. Whoops! Accidentally hit play. Uh oh. Oh no! Sorry. I accidentally hit the button. Uh, but yeah, so I just switched pictures. But we're just gonna still talk about that. So but basically, yeah, it's. I'm really glad they're at least making these little plot pieces though. With the Valyrian steel dagger, it's just like, oh, remember I'm giving this to this person, and remember I'm giving this to her, and it's just that's like a keep an eye on it mark. So,
Right.
but so the next scene here is Daenerys Stormborn and Jon in the cave. It's actually I only got two pictures of this, where Jon Snow shows Daenerys a picture of White Walkers, or not picture, a drawing, very crude drawing of White Walkers. But in this picture you can't really see it, but they actually have blue eyes.
Right.
So, and I was just like, people were joking about the fact that they would have Jon Snow just like drew him there, which is definitely possible, but I don't think he would. Emmett Ross, welcome. But not struggle. Let me see what you said. But not a single North of the twins will bend the knee to Brandon Stark, even if Bran wanted it. Um, Lyanna Mormont, the little bear, would eat them all. Well, yeah, I mean, because Bran, sorry, God, man, I keep mixing up the names. Bran just got there also, so it's highly doubtful that just gonna be like, oh, he's here, goodbye. but um, but going back to here though, real quick. So what do you think about this? Like, who drew that in the cave? By the way, did they say the first children or something? Who drew that? The
The markings were drawn by both the children and the first men. The basics of that history is the elves predate the first men, which I mean this is a common fantasy trope. You even see it in Tolkien.
right,
And the elves, as is common in fantasy settings, they're long lived and they're not big on breeding. So
right. Wait, there's
there were the
elves in
elves
this.
yeah,
Oh
and
my
then
god, this really is Lord of the
the
Rings.
first men came, and they start fucking things up, and they're putting up all these ugly castles and tearing down all the beautiful weirwood trees that the elves were
Ah,
communing with. And the elves created the White Walkers to destroy men. They created them out of men to destroy men,
right.
and then it got out of hand, and they needed men's help to try and put the lid back on that bottle.
Because they
And
don't care about anybody anymore. I don't think, right? They just want to kill
right,
everybody.
right. The White Walkers, the Night King was supposed to be obedient to the elves, and that wasn't the case. They were playing with magic that they didn't understand in order to
Right.
try and stop something that they thought was apocalyptic from happening, and they unleashed the apocalypse in doing so. So,
How'd you?
they band together with the First Men to try and stop that, and somehow, some way, I don't really know how, but apparently they beat back the tide mainly using dragonglass weapons, which is why Sam finds that cache of dragonglass north of the wall by Craster's Keep
Oh
in the
yeah, I
earlier
remember
season.
that back in
Like,
was
that
that
was a
like season
very
2
old
or season
cache of
3 or something like
weapons.
that. That was back when we
Right.
like first getting close, first getting an eye on the wall. Minko said Children of the Forest created White Walkers to defend themselves from the First Men, but after they realized they can't control them, they're forced to make peace with First Men. Yeah, because they realized they were a real threat. Exactly, like you were saying, pink. Same what you were saying. I guess that makes sense. I was just like, for me, I was just since I didn't read any of the books, and I'm just like, okay, I'll just accept whatever you're saying. Let's just move on.
The show, trying to squeeze a 1,600 page novel into 10
Right.
one-hour
They do that
installments.
a lot. Hmm.
They've skipped a lot of that, and they've used these like little flashback scenes to try and flesh some of that out. But if you haven't read the books, if you're only watching the show, there's a lot of that that just like, okay, so
Yeah, I
why
mean,
didn't
and
you
it's
do
I think
this?
that's okay to do that because that both supports the show and the books. 'Cause you can be a fan of
Right.
either, because I mean, with the Arthur, I mean, Martin didn't finish them, so it'd be funny if he just goes complete opposite way of where the show went. Like, yeah, I don't think the Daenerys and Jon Snow thing should happen. You guys should cut that out. And yeah, like they try and start something in here with the cave, and it's just not happening. Like I
I
don't see.
kind of think it has to happen because
Well, I mean that is their
I
tradition,
can't
though.
see I can't see Jon Snow being the second king who knelt.
Well, I was
You know.
thinking my theory was like, what if Daenerys Stormborn actually dies, and then it'd be because since Jon Snow doesn't know he's a Targaryen yet, but he could also be the actual king, so that's a possibility of happening as well. So, but all right, so moving on from this, let's see, what else do I have here? I think, oh yeah, Daenerys gets the bad news from Tyrion and Varys, and she is so mad. I was feeling so bad for Tyrion in this. Like he's trying to keep the peace, but he's also not helping. Like like what do you think about this part here, where she's just like walking off and doing that mad pouncing, like just on Tyrion, talking about like, what do you mean our enemies? Your family, you mean? I was like, oh, come on, Daenerys, don't be mad.
I I don't believe that Tyrion is the mole. I do believe there is a mole,
A
but I don't
mole?
believe that it's Tyrion. Absolutely,
You think there's a mole?
absolutely. They knew that the Greyjoys were sailing for Dorne. They knew that the Unsullied were sailing for Casterly Rock, and both times Euron's fleet was right where it needed to be in order to ambush them. And including having the bulk of the Lannister armies already moved out of Casterly Rock. Now, you could say that it's just, you know, Jamie Lannister is a better strategist and foresaw those moves.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, to call both of them and to call them perfectly
Right.
accurate that way, that's a
Mm,
lot. That's a lot to ask.
I mean, oh, okay. I mean, I don't think. Yeah, I don't think he's a mole at all. But then, if there's a mole, then it could be Varys. But I really don't want it to be.
It,
But
it's difficult to see it being Varys either. I don't think it would be someone that's directly connected to
to
Daenerys. I
her,
think it would be like a servant of Olenna Tyrell or a servant of Illyria Sand. Somebody, Qyburn or even Cersei directly has her hooks in somebody that could get access to information. And since those plans were drawn with
cause the
Illyria and
Greyjoys knew
Olenna as
exactly
well,
where to go and everything.
or even somebody that was connected to Yara Greyjoy. I mean, these are Greyjoys. Maybe somebody that was serving Yara is loyal to Euron,
I
and
mean,
Euron is the one that was coming by the
it's
end.
kind of hard to pick that either because then that got them both the Dawn, this, I forgot her name, the Dawn girl killed, and with the Queen of Thorns killed. It just ended up screwing both everybody. So it's just, I don't know.
Well,
It's
right, but I mean, that's what a spy is.
Oh, so it's got to be somebody that hates both of them then.
Not necessarily hates, but has enough greed. That's
Oh,
that's typically the motivation of a spy. Either hatred of the people you serve, or you care more about the gold you're being offered to give the information.
right. Um. Okay.
There are so many people that just no one notices, like the
Oh yeah.
cupbearer, the
There.
one
Oh
who
yeah.
owns the
Yeah.
wine.
Yeah.
You know
Well, I
what I mean?
mean,
So like, it
it
doesn't
could be, but
necessarily
I
have to
don't.
be a
Those are
major
very
character.
small characters for them to just come out of the blue and just be like, "It was me. I did it."
Well, think of all Varys's little birds. Those very small characters killed Grandmaster Pycelle.
Oh yeah.
Like big things happen with little small characters in the woodworks that you don't pay attention to.
Yeah. I actually hope those children do return though. Minko. So you said something we were talking about earlier. So Martin gave D&D the end game. The story in between is up for D&D. And you also said I don't think there's a mole because Tyron is more obvious, and Jamie no Tyron mind work. Knows his mind work. So I don't think it is him either. I mean it's really
That's a good
I
point.
don't
They're
I
both
honestly
basically trained by Tyler.
right. I don't think there is a mole, but I mean it's a nice theory. I mean, I just because of the time gap that we're dealing with, it's just possible that the show creators are just like, yeah, you're here, you're here. We don't have time for this. Whatever, let's go.
Right.
Like maybe I mean, they could have gone a little bit longer. Like say they're out at sea for like a week and they just happen to run into to the Greyjoys. But you know, anything could happen. I mean, it's possible. It would definitely surprise me if there actually was one. Um, with the Sons of Harpy last season, and anything could happen. But okay, so here in this scene also, Daenerys is thinking about using one of her dragons, and she says, "Enough with the cover pans." And as we saw in the trailer, oh yeah, this picture of Tyron looking all mad. I mean, not mad, but sad. Like he's like, yeah, I'm getting yelled at. His face. Like I'm just feeling so bad for him. But yeah, so she's like, enough of the clever plans. As soon as I saw that in the trailer, I was like, I know who she's talking to because it was the same thing
Yeah.
that the Queen of Thorns said to her, and I was like, yeah, you're talking to Tyron, aren't you? Tyrion, Tyrion.
Period.
I'm gonna stop talking about names now. I'm just gonna say the dwarf because I keep mixing up everybody's names. Um, but yeah, so I mean, do you think she's? I mean, for her to get mad, I understand. I mean, it's not really out of place. I guess and I don't think
She,
Tyrion's gonna take it personally. So, I mean, what do you think?
it's like she explains to Jon Snow in the last episode. In order to get to where she is right now and be so close to this goal that she's dedicated her entire
Right.
life to so far, is she's going through hell, and she's been patient, and she did her time in Marine learning how to rule justly instead of being a fucking weirdo Targaryen. And here she is now, and she's being thwarted. And it's easy to look at these dragons and consider the nuclear option. And
Yeah.
I think it was very important for her. And like, I mean, I've seen some fan theories like on Facebook or Twitter that suggested after this, that maybe she's starting to lose her mind. Like maybe she is going to be
Exactly.
another
I mean, she's
bitch
done some
with
things
fucking
that's not
obsessed.
completely off from the direction she's heading.
But
Like it's just like,
I think the fact that she looks to Jon Snow, who has this reputation, and the entire Stark house has this reputation of being fair, just by the book type people.
uh huh.
I think it's telling that she looks to Jon Snow, who is an enemy, like a rebel, a traitor at this moment in her
Oh,
eyes,
because he's not
and
bending
says,
the
"What
knee.
would you do?" Right, and she looks to him and she says, "What would you do?"
That
And
whole yeah, that whole bend the knee crap. Well, I forgot to mention that when he was in the cave, like he's like, "I will fight for you, Jon
yeah,
Snow," and I was like,
I
"Aw," and
think
then
she
she
kind
says,
of
"After
needs
you
to
bend
come
the
off
knee," I
that.
was like, "Come on, come on." I was like, "Really? What is it with you? Like,
I
I'm
feel like
starting to
she
like
needs to
you.
come
I'm
off
not
the
liking
whole
you."
bend the knee thing,
Yeah, like,
and
can
it
you
kind of
stop?
seems like the only way these two are really going to come fully together in the fight they need to be together in. I think the only way that's going to happen is if those houses unite.
Right. I mean, she's
It's the
at this
only
point she
solution
doesn't really have that many choices. But I mean, I
because
guess.
like
Uh
then
huh.
he doesn't have to bend the knee, you know?
Well, I was hoping like instead of bending the knee, maybe they can just have an agreement and just shake their heads or something and just be like, I'm with you, you with me. Boom. Like I wouldn't want to bend the knee to anybody, but I guess I don't know. She, like I said, if I was back with her and like when she was freeing the slaves and stuff, I probably would have bent the knee. But
But
like at this
I
point,
think
I
it
don't
was
think
also
so.
important. It was also a pretty big deal in this scene that he told her point blank, like, melting castles and burning cities is not the way you're
Right.
going to win this
Yeah,
war.
because you're it's no, it's
You know?
basically like people usually see they show you nah, I can't talk. He was talking about the dragons being kind of an impossible thing, whereas if you start burning castles and melting cities, like what different are you from everybody else? Like you're just taking the easier option, and instead of taking the more impossible option, like she started out being more of an impossible figure, but at least in this realm. Um, but it's a good point that he made. So where like so I'm really interested to see what she from that advice she's got, um, where she will go from there. I mean, I know where she's gonna go from here comparing to the end of the episode, but anyway, so we'll go to the next image here. So what's the next one here? Yeah, so this is the part where she's talking to Jon Snow. Oh, let me check the comments. So, Jon will bend the knee if Dany make the North her priority. He didn't say that though. I mean, I think it's just the fact that it's because she's also a complete stranger and he doesn't know her. I mean, he's getting to know her, but it's still like I just met you, and you may seem great and all, and everybody's telling me all these great things, but that doesn't really give me a reason to bend the knee. I wouldn't feel comfortable bending the knee either. Um, Ernest Ross, you said I don't know the North remembers, and they're still bitter about King Torrin. Are you talking about the Mad King, right? What was that guy's name? His name was King Torrin?
The, the Mad King was Aerys Targaryen. King Torrin was the old king in the north before the Seven Kingdoms
Oh.
united under
Oh,
him.
yeah, yeah, when he was talking about he's the one that bent the knee to the Targaryen, right?
Yeah, and forever he was remembered as the king who knelt because the north remembers and they're bitter.
Right.
It's cold. You don't have anything to do but be bitter, I guess, right?
Right. It's like, well, I
But
mean,
that's true what Mako said though. They haven't seen the White Walkers themselves yet.
right, yeah. I mean, it's not, but then it shouldn't be that hard for her to believe since she's got freaking flying large dragons. So
Yeah,
it's not like you should
yeah.
go, "Oh, yeah, that's not possible." Like, I'm
Do a
sorry?
quick flyby over fucking over
Like, yeah, like,
Winterfell, and then everybody's gonna
excuse
tell a
me,
different
I don't
story.
believe in White Walkers. Like, what the heck is that then? um, Minko, you said, not if they see White Walkers with their own eyes. Exact. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, but she saw the drawings in the cave, and that's really old drawings. But like I said, it could be a prank by Jon Snow, just making those drawings himself. um, Mika also said they're not going to win without Danny's help. No, of course not. They're not gonna win. They need to all unite. I think everybody. They need freaking Lannister soldiers, Dawn soldiers, everybody. They are just. This is all about unity, really, and bringing everybody together. Which is, it's funny considering where we started off. But we started off with everybody being their own thing. It's about the Seven Kingdoms and this large throne that everybody wants, and now it's about everybody needing to come together for survival, which is, still a great message for this entire show and something that we could probably also take away in real life in case, global warming is, a thing. But alright, so the next scene. So, oh, yes. Let's talk about this. The Arya and Brienne fight scene. Oh my god, man. I was getting so many chills during this scene, man. What about you, man? This
It,
was
it,
just
it was a fun
so.
scene, and it was good to see, what Sirio taught her, the whole
Yeah,
Waterdeep's put
it's
in
funny. I
practice
forgot all
against
about him.
Arya. But
Oh my god.
yeah, it was definitely a good scene, and like you could tell in the beginning, Brienne was like this little slip of a girl. I don't want to do this. I'm gonna hurt this girl,
Yeah.
and
She
then
even
she
was
saw
gonna
that
get
Arya
somebody
had a dip
else.
game.
She was gonna get somebody else to train her. And she was like, "Yeah, that guy didn't beat the Hound, you did." And so she was like, I won't cut you with this," because basically Brienne didn't even want to fight her with that little tiny needle sword that she had. And she's
Yeah.
like, "That's too small." And I'm like, "Don't worry, I won't cut you." I was like, "Yeah, show her. School her right now. School her. Like, I know you can. I haven't seen you fight, but, I know you can." I'm like guessing, like, I'm hoping you can. I mean, because I actually haven't seen you fight. But, yeah, I just know you're a killer. Uh, but I'm really happy to see the scene here where she just completely schools her in the first round, like I knew she would. Schools her in the second round, like I knew she would, and then gets kicked really hard in the chest by Bran. Man, I was like, "Ooh, you okay? You okay?" I was like, "Get
Yeah,
up, get
it
up."
kind of
If
it
I was in
kind
the
of stunned her. Like
background,
it didn't seem like she expected Brienne to get
I
anything
didn't
off.
think, yeah, I wasn't expecting Brienne to actually be able to. I didn't think she would hurt her. I mean, like, I would just like, if I was in the background, I would have walked up to Arya and be like, "Are you okay? Are you okay? She good? She good? Like, hold up." Like, I would have been over there like, yeah, that was kind of unnecessary. But then in a real fight, that's something that would happen. So this is good for her
Oh, absolutely. And
to
if
be
Arya
trained.
can't recover quickly enough, then it's over.
Yeah. Yeah, especially that. So I mean, like, it's good that she has this training, but she ends up making this again another Matrix move recovery, and just gets up and pulls out her dagger and just like, "Yeah, I'm ready. You think that hurt? That didn't hurt me at all." Like, I'm trying to think of another scene that did that where like oh, that reminds me of the I just love the Matrix. I have to keep making Matrix references when he was getting shot by a bunch of bullets and Matrix Reloaded, and everybody was shooting their guns and all the bullets were flying in the air, and Neo had his hands up, and then as soon as he put his hands down, all the bullets went dropping onto the ground. And he's just like, "Come at me, bruh." Like, that's what this scene is to me. Is that,
I,
"Come
I
at
like
me,
how when
bruh."
Brienne finally disarmed her and thought she was going to win the match, then
I don't
then
think. Well, I didn't see a reaction.
then
Mm-mm.
Arya just whips the dagger out and puts it right through her neck, letting her know that being disarmed was a feint to begin with.
I think the part where she thought she won was when she kicked Arya in the chest. Like, I was just like,
Yeah.
oh,
Who's going to expect a little girl like that to get back up after that?
that's
After
the
that
thing.
kick,
That's her
like,
thing. Like, everybody thinks Arya's fragile until they freaking getting served a pie full of their own relatives. Like, oh man. Hold on, let me check the comment section. So, so what you were talking about before. So people already believe in dragons. They only extinct. But White Walkers is a myth 8,000 years ago. I remember when the Hound asked Arya, "Who taught you?" Oh, well, sorry, I don't swear, but I can read. Who taught you that? I don't actually remember that. Did he ask her that? Oh, maybe he
oh
did.
yeah, back in the day, I think that was the scene after they wound up killing what the fuck was Gregor's guy's name? Raph or Reef or some
How? If
stupid
you
stuff
remember it,
like
I
that.
definitely
The
I
little
won't
rat
remember
guy.
it at all.
Yeah, but
uh,
the Hound was kind of disdainful of Arya and her little sword at that time.
I think it was probably when she was actually trying to practice too. Was it like when she was like twirling around and
Might
trying?
have been.
It could have been
Yeah.
that part too. Um, but yeah, this scene. So it ends up with Arya and Brienne having a tie, and I'm just loving them smiling and all that stuff. I'm just like getting goosebumps. I'm like, ooh, man, this scene is it's drugs for me. Just like give me more, give me more. Like I was hoping they would go a little bit longer. But above them, Sansa. So people were talking about this. I don't show Sansa in this picture, but Sansa didn't seem all that excited about this fight. I mean, I was just like, "What's wrong with you? Like,
I think
why aren't you
watching
cheering?"
that really brought it home for Sansa that, like, wow, Arya Stark really probably does have a list of names of people she's gonna kill.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
I
I
don't
mean,
even
she
know these
believed her
names.
after what Bran said, like with that crap. But I think people have joked with saying or just saying like, Sansa is probably just jealous because she has absolutely nothing. Like she can't defend herself. She just has her mouth and which
Yeah. Imagine
like
if
which is
Sansa was able to do any of that, on her wedding night. That probably would have gone off.
everybody has, well, yeah, but everybody has something. Uh, they like Jon Snow. I don't know. Jon Snow's come from the dead, like you said. I don't. Did he even tell Sansa about that? Who did he tell about that? Did who? I don't think he told anybody about him coming back from the dead. Like he, what's his
I
name?
think it was
Daros was gonna
funny
tell
when,
Danny, but
yeah.
he stopped him. I was like, why? Why are you keeping it a secret? Like everybody should know.
Like, John's like, yo, hold up, we just met these fucking people. Like, cut
Like,
it out.
I was just like, tell them. He's like, he's come back from the. I mean, like I was like, oh
Like,
come
there's
on.
not a lot of people that know about the whole, like, the Red Priests really having
Oh
this
yeah,
magical
and she's not even
power.
in there. She got kicked out. Like she was just like, get the heck out now
Yeah,
for burning Stannis's little girl, and that was upsetting, and I'm glad they didn't show it because I didn't need to see it. And she's just like screaming in the background. Ah! I was like,
yeah,
okay,
that
thank
was
you. That's all I need.
that was a pretty rough thing. And like when I was reading all that in the books, and they insisted on
It was
bringing
more detailed, I guess, right?
yeah, it goes into the scene a little bit more than what they depicted on the show, but I mean, like, it's foreshadowed by why are you bringing this little girl on this war campaign? And I mean, there's only one
Right.
reason why they could be bringing that little
Well, I mean,
girl.
I thought they were
So
doing
you
it also
know
so
it's
they could
coming.
protect her, though. Like, so, because if you leave her somewhere, somebody goes attack that area. I mean, you're kind of. That's what I thought also. So, I mean, which makes sense. But anyway, so going back to this scene, so Ming, Minko, you said Sansa is more like surprised and worried about her sister and not jealous. I mean, why would she be worried though? I mean, she can freaking defend herself. But I mean, it could be anything. It could be jealousy. It could be the fact that she's just, she's worried, or she could be the fact that she's also thinking about like, what the heck is, what happened to everybody? Like, why don't I have any cool powers or something? Like, this is so unfair. But what I like this scene also is because it was Arya and Brienne looking up at Littlefinger and just being like, "What the heck are you doing here?" Like he just like bows and walks away. Like, you see, they gonna kill you. I'm like, yeah, you're marked as a target in Winterfell. I would have got out like now. But oh no, what do you think about that part where they was like all both looking up at Littlefinger and being like, what are you doing here?
I think when Arya's looking up there and seeing Littlefinger, I think she's kind of putting two and two together that
I'm true.
something's not right about Littlefinger. You know,
Yeah, I mean, she
and
can
I
easily
think
kill him if
maybe
she
her
wanted
list
to.
is through. Absolutely, absolutely. But the look on Arya's face at the end of that scene, I'm finding myself wondering if her list just gained a name.
Yeah.
If she's making the right connections in her head.
I'm just wondering how much does she know? Because like everybody's like, making these connections, like from previous, like from back from season. A lot of these flashbacks and stuff are going back to season one, and I don't remember season one all that well. I'm probably gonna have to go back and watch, but like I'm just wondering, like how much does Sansa know actually? Like, do they know that he's directly responsible for Ned Stark's death? I mean, like I think he was the first to stab Ned Stark, wasn't he? Like I think he was the first to stab Ned Stark. I think.
I don't recall him stabbing Ned Stark,
Well, I
but
think he was
like you, I
planning
would
on
have to go back
going.
and watching it.
He was playing. Him and Littlefinger were both in the room together, talking to Joffrey about the paper that. God, I can't remember the first king's name either. Freaking. What was that guy's name? Oh my
Robert?
God, Robert. Yes. Robert wrote the note that Ned Stark should be the next leader, and Littlefinger was in the room. So, and I just remember him getting betrayed by Littlefinger. I'm pretty sure I felt like he stabbed him. I think I have to go back and watch, but yeah, it's just like season one throwbacks is what I'm talking about. Like it's just like we should probably go back and watch season one, man, because they're referencing a lot of stuff here. So, but yeah, it's just like I'm wondering, like as soon as they figure out what he did to Ned Stark, it's over. Uh, put that dagger on Ned Stark's neck. Oh, he put a dagger on Ned Stark's neck. Right, right. So he didn't actually stab him. Right. Okay, I remember now. So he's actually directly responsible for his arrest. Right. Yeah, that's why I hated Littlefinger after that. I couldn't remember. But yeah, so if you go back and watch season one, you'll see that Ned Stark does get betrayed. They go into the room together, expecting to have the same plan, and then he gets turned on by Littlefinger. So I'm pretty sure Bran knows that, though. I'm pretty sure he does.
Oh, absolutely.
He probably does know about that. I'm just wondering if he's gonna tell anybody. But the thing is, like, they need his soldiers, so he's probably waiting for the right moment. Can't just
I
kill
kind of
him.
think Brienne is like impatiently waiting for the King in the North to return because they have a lot to talk about. And I, because Bran isn't Bran anymore,
All
I
right.
can't see him muddying the waters by bringing up that kind of shit. Like I think he's going to be more focused on what they need to be doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like what they need to do to
Because
survive, and
Bran
then
can
we'll
throw
worry
a
about him
lot of
later.
secrets on the field and just grenade, 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 just blow everybody's shit apart if he
Yeah,
wanted to. But you know,
exactly.
his
He's just like,
motivations are
yeah,
going
I
to be
know
a
you
lot
killed
different.
this person, and I know you actually didn't look for the candle in the room for a ghostly figure, and that was for Brienne I'm talking
Right.
about. Like, yeah, you guys all suck. But okay, so next scene here. So next scene, oh yeah, I have this scene here with the Narth. It's not very long, but it's just this scene with the Narth girl. I can't remember her name. You remember her name from Narth? The Davos and
The
John are talking
Sunday.
to her. Nasande. I never remember her name. She's never that important enough for me to remember her name. But her, yeah. So they have this little scene where basically she's talking about like what does Jon Snow ask? Like Daenerys is kind enough to ask her where she's from and all that stuff, and she was taken away from Narth when she was a little girl, and John's like, oh, I'm sorry, which is nice and everything. It shows compassion, even though it's not like we didn't know that already. Like I'm expecting to hear like, oh, that's too bad. but but Jon Snow, basically is asking if you believe that she will send you back to Narth tomorrow, if she will let you go, and um, Nasande said, yeah, she would let me go. And Jon Snow was like, oh, you believe that? And she's like, yeah, that's the queen we chose. And Daenerys jokes about, like, can I switch sides? Which is like, I don't think you would want to, actually. Like, thanks for the strong hopes there. But, so what did you think about this scene? Like, it was a really nice scene to see, like, a slow pace a little bit.
But based on what they're used to, I don't think John or Davos like really believes that Daenerys is this great magnanimous figure
Right.
that
The way he was
Missandei
looking at it,
describes.
yeah. Hmm.
But I think also that Davos having the balls to make a joke like that to Jon Snow's face demonstrates to Missandei like the reputation that Tyrion describes of him, the character that Tyrion described before Jon Snow came there. Like Jon Snow really is that guy. Like he's not one of these Westerosi tyrants that they hear about and that they're fighting against.
She even mentions this about
How
Nart.
many people are
Yeah.
going to joke to their king about being a traitor? You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, but I'm hoping we're hoping that he was joking. But she even mentions that a little something beforehand. It's like the concept of a bastard is there is no marriage in Narth, so there is no bastards. So I'm like, well, how does that work? Like, I guess there's no marriages. Okay, well, whatever. But it's a nice scene. Just after this scene, the Greyjoys are about to come up on shore. The now I gotta figure out another name of the what's his name? Reek. I'm gonna just say Reek. Reek is coming up on shore, and he runs into Jon Snow. And I don't remember the last time they met each other, so I'm just sitting there like, are you guys gonna hug or you guys gonna fist fight? What? Like, it looked like as he was walking up that he wasn't happy. So he's like, John, how's Sansa? I was like, that's not your safe word. Like, why has everybody got a safe word? How's your mother? How's Sansa? What the heck is this? Everybody's discussing people's family members. Like, how's the weather? That's the next thing. You're like,
I kind of wanted John to kill him right then and there. And I don't think
no,
any of those
man.
assholes
He's
would have stood
been
him a
through
fight.
enough. He's been through enough. I'm getting sick and tired of him getting pushed around, man. I'm like, dude, you've been through a lot. We've seen you. We know you're struggling. Like, it's enough to just be like, man, can we cut out with the torturing of Theon right now? Like, it's just like, Jesus. And he's still getting smacked. And he's gonna get even more if they actually save his sister. About like, so I saw you jump from the boat. Like, what the heck was that about? Like,
The,
yeah,
the look on her face when he did it was like, this dickhead. God.
I thought she knew that he was gonna jump. Like, I was just like, yeah, he's not gonna. It'd be surprising if he does. Like, like he hasn't done much to actually prove to her that he's like capable of defending anybody. So, I mean, like he hasn't been in any fights. So, it wouldn't surprise me if he hasn't done anything since then, except for stand by her side, just be her little, her little pet. So it wouldn't surprise me. But so yeah, that reunion, I was just a little confused because I didn't remember. She basically was like, "What you did for her is the only reason I'm not killing you." I was like, "So he told you that? Okay." But this next scene leads to, so basically Tyrion wants to go back and get his sister with the Queen's help, Daenerys' help. But the Queen is not there. Where is she? So we go to the next scene here. It's the final scene where everybody is packing up the goats, still at the wagons. But then there's this roar. We don't know where it's coming from. I know exactly what it was because of the trailer, but I was just like, oh yeah, they're coming to get ya. Everybody's getting ready. Archers in the back, spears next row, and shields in the next. I'm just like looking at this formation. I'm just like, okay, so that's smart. You got the arrows in the back being protected, and you got the spears and behind the long sticks. They can stab them with that. So I'm thinking strategy-wise, because all the games I play, I'm just like, yeah, that looks like a pretty good strategy. But so basically, unprepared. I mean, they always said that you shouldn't meet the Dothraki on land, or on what was the thing that they said? I can't remember exactly what they said. With the
Don't meet him on
Dothraki. Yeah, like they're good fighters, really good fighters. Jaime's ready here. Everybody's just ready. You can see the Dothraki coming in. This scene actually reminded me of Mulan. Remember the movie Mulan with the Mongolians? I think they were called. With that line. Yeah, like that line of soldiers. Everybody's just like, "What's that noise?" And you can see all the soldiers. That's exactly what this scene reminded me of. I was just like, oh my god, this is a Milan movie now. Everybody's coming in with the spears. They're making these like huge Native American noise. Ay ay ay! Like yay! Back like like woo! Y'all gonna die. Tyrion. Ron tries to tell Jamie to run, but he says no. I gotta stay with my men, and that's, I wouldn't expect him to run. He's not that kind of person. He's not a coward, but he's not Sam, so. But he's as soon as he said no, we can hold them off. The dragon is coming in right after the Dothraki. The dragon is huge. He's like, I don't even know. Can he get any bigger than this? Is my question. Like, do they have the budget?
Valerian the Dread was about twice as large.
Well, I'm not saying. Well, yeah, he could get bigger. But I'm just wondering if they're gonna make him bigger. Is my question. Like, how much can we put on this dragon? Is what I'm saying. Like, he's taking up already the full screen here. Like compared to where he started, man, it's just like, wow, he's so tiny, and now look at him. He's beautiful. Red, red and black. Those are the two colors I would pick my dragon to be. Red and black with some stripes on the side, I'll treat it like a car. uh, but yeah, so you see the dragon coming, and he comes in and makes that line, man. It starts burning everybody. Jamie's looking at him
Did
come.
you see the look on her face when she gave him the word?
Dracarys. Yeah,
Like she's just
Dracarys.
looking down at the Lannister army arrayed before, like, yeah, motherfuckers,
I
it's
think she was
about to
just
be
like,
over.
y'all are all gonna die. I gotta, you know what I was saying before? That I was like, I gotta commend the freaking soldiers for staying put. Like, you see that coming. I would think you would have ran if you saw him in your direction. There ain't nothing you could do. I would have ran. Like, I would have been in the back, like, see y'all. Like, I'm gone. But the fact that they stay put, I'm gonna, just give them some props for that, because they freaking died. And you can see that dragon coming from a mile away, so the fact that they stayed. But, you can see them shaking, though, too, in the scene. They
I
were
thought it
freaking
was a
shaking.
wild visual how, like, after he belches that first gout of flame through the line, that like the Dothraki just ride their horses right through that shit, like.
Right, yeah, that was cool, too. I thought
Yeah,
they were gonna
this
wait
is
until
how
the
we
fire
roll.
gets set. I thought, like, oh, you just gonna go through the fire? Like, it doesn't hurt or anything? Okay. The fact that everybody's turning into freaking burnt toast is just, even more interesting.
I
But
thought it
yeah,
was wild. Like a couple of times, they pan the camera around and you see the wind blowing. Like these people are incinerated to the marrow. They're not just burned to death; they are
yeah,
erased.
they just turn to crisp. Like as soon as the wind blows by, that's creaming. That's creaming. What's it? Dang, I can't say my words properly. Cremation, yes. I can say my words properly. I'm just so out of it. But yeah, that's you don't even have to worry about being buried. Like, and I guess that saves the field some, like, having to bury bodies. I guess, but but Jesus, man, that dragon is tough, and I can only imagine that fire must be like lava as soon as it hits. But
Imagine if she brought all three to the field.
oh my God, it could be. I don't think she can control all three. To be honest, I think she needs to do it one at a time.
And like Jamie needs to go back and tell Cersei that shit. Like Drogon took one in the shoulder, didn't kill him. They
Wait, we'll
burned the
get to that. We'll get
weapons
to
through.
that. We'll get to
But I mean,
that.
like, this is what one dragon does in one battle. If Daenerys wanted to, like, he's got to know, like, the shit really has gotten real. At any given time, those three dragons could just be circling King's Landing, and there's nothing they can do about it.
Right. Well, and I was also a little concerned here at this scene where Daenerys is about to get hit with the arrows. Like, it's you see this guy, Jamie's like, "All right, form up. I need archers," and I was about to be like, you know what? See here, Daenerys, you should have listened to your staff. You should have listened right here. If you get hit, I'm not even gonna be mad because they told you to stay off the dragon. You didn't listen, so if you get hit, whatever. She almost got
But
hit,
those
but
are her babies.
huh?
But those are her babies.
No, man. It's just like I was just if she got hit, I wasn't even gonna be mad. I would just been like, yeah, see, listen to your staff. That's what this story's about.
Well, she needs to trust her staff, but she also needs to trust Drogon, which she does, and
Yeah,
Drogon
he knew what
protected
to
her.
do. He moved pretty quickly. I'm still confused on if she's actually controlling him or if he just is smart enough to know what to do, or maybe they're telepathic and they're connecting with each other or something. That's another
It's a
question.
really big puppy dog, is what it is, in my opinion.
Yeah, maybe so. Like, oh, well, yeah, he did with the big temper though. But yeah, so here she's about to get hit with arrows. Drogon protects her with his body, but then they start getting the scorpion, the real bad boy, the one that they showed that can break a dragon's bone if they're hit in the right spot. So Bronn is off and is told by Jaime to go and get the scorpion. He gets there and is aiming it at the dragon. He misses the first time. Daenerys sees it, and he's. I was hoping that okay, that's a sign to get the heck out. You know, you've done enough. But instead, she goes directly towards him, and I'm thinking she's the stupidest person in this freaking universe right now. I'm like, why would you
No,
see
she got
that?
triggered by
And
the flag from
oh,
like
maybe,
she
but
saw an AA
I was
encampment and
just.
she immediately
Uh,
wanted to murder it.
Oh my god, man, no. I was just you're the stupidest person. That's what I was thinking at that moment. I was just like, why didn't you just leave?
That's what I
Like
did, man.
that's if you see that arrow coming, I'm gone. I was thinking that this people were talking about this is like from The Hobbit, the Lord of the Rings arrow, where it took out God, what's the dude's name? Smug. Smug. They did the same technique
Small.
with Smug. Smog actually died from the arrow, though. So it was a really good arrow. But this one, though, the fact that they missed, I'm just like glad there's some bit of like you have to be accurate. But her going directly towards it, I was like, that's easy. Like that's so easy. You could just shoot up and that's it. But he he does shoot it actually does hit Daenerys' dragon, and it's falling from the sky. It's everything's about to like, oh my god. You know, I'm thinking the dragon's dead, but you know he's probably not dead. He's just fallen for a bit. He's probably gonna hit the ocean. He's gonna get back up, but he doesn't even hit the ocean. He makes a recovery just before he hits the water, and you know starts like firing at Bran and firing at the scorpion and destroys the scorpion. And you know the way he destroyed it though, I like that part where he took his arm and just went crash, like just pushed it out the way. Like it was just that part where I was like, yeah, now that's a dragon. Like a dragon, a smart dragon though, because that
Right.
dragon knew he was being aimed at by that crap.
Yeah,
um
absolutely. That's one of the things that they haven't really communicated very well, I don't think, in the
the
show. But
intelligence.
in the books, these dragons are very smart. Like they know what the hell's going on.
Yeah, like I it's he definitely is showing signs of intelligence in this scene though. The way he took it out, the way he that's why I thought I was a little confused in if it was Daenerys who was controlling the dragon or if it was the dragon.
It seemed a little bit of both. Like throughout the scene, you kind of see her like nudging or pulling on some of the spikes, like to draw his
Right.
attention one way or the other. And
Or maybe
you
he's
know, it
like,
wasn't
look over
his choice
there
to
or look
bring
over
the
there.
wagons with the food. You know, like
Yeah.
he's not going to go after these food wagons. He's going to go after these men. You know.
Right. And he was taking a line. I didn't put that picture in the scene, but that part where that long view of people, you see him slowly going pushing out fire. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
That part, I was just like, oh my god, that is so awesome, but it's so sad for those guys in that line of fire. No pun intended. But yeah, so he makes the quick recovery here. So something else happens though. Daenerys gets off the dragon to pull out the spear that was stuck. And Jamie sees it as an opportunity, and I ain't mad at him though, but he sees it as an opportunity to take a spear from a dead body and charge it at Daenerys. I knew he was aiming for Daenerys. Some people say he was aiming for the dragon. I was like, no, he ain't. I'm like, why would he try and kill the dragon with that? Like, no, that's not gonna
Yeah,
kill him.
no, he's smart enough to go after the head of the dragon.
He was going for Daenerys, man. He was going for straight for Daenerys. But he immediately, as soon as he gets really close to actually hitting her, though, I didn't put that picture in, but I showed Daenerys turning, not Daenerys, sorry, the dragon turning and getting ready to fire at him, and I got a picture here where you can see like right down the throat of like the dragon, like you can see the fire about to come out. This is what Jamie's looking at right here. You can see the glowing throat right there, of the fire about to come out. It's just like I was like, that is beautiful. It's disgusting because you can see also everything else, but it's like the details is just great. Like you can see the teeth, how sharp the teeth are. I don't know what.
Yeah, that was very well animated.
Yeah,
In
really,
the
really
books,
good.
do the dragons see her as their mother?
Yeah.
Yes,
Ah,
absolutely.
it doesn't make sense though, because like what? Look at the difference.
It kind of does. If you hatch a chicken and it's the
Oh well,
first thing you
yeah.
see, they still think you. Yeah.
Right. Well, but I mean, as we were saying earlier, though, like the intelligence level, you should know. Like this doesn't look like me. Why is she? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a nurturing thing. You know, like she was with me this whole time. Why would I betray her? So you know. Before though, like in season 4, was it season 4, where it looked like Drogon was about to turn on her. I was like, uh oh. I was like, crap, man. Uh,
Those were the
me,
rebellious teenage years.
yeah. This is Minko said in Jamie's mind he can end the war with one shot and willing to die for doing it. Yeah, that's why I said I'm not mad. I'm not mad at him taking the shot for it. I mean, I'm just like any brave soldier would probably have done it. And it had to be Jamie, and it's just it was cool to see, and I knew he
I
wasn't gonna.
don't. I don't think Bronn saved Jamie for any altruistic reasons. If Jamie's dead, nobody's alive to remember that he's owed a castle.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, he did ask for the castle, and yeah, he was handing it gold, and he was like,
Like
I want the castle."
that's. I'm pretty sure that's the only reason why Bronn gives a shit if Jamie dies.
Exactly. Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't. I think there is some real friendship there, though. Also, I mean, like, is there maybe
There
some
was
sort
real
of
friendship
relationship?
between Bronn and Tyrion, and look how that turned out. I mean, Bronn is gonna be Bronn.
Well, yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, hopefully, we'll see more of the his character later on. Um, but so yeah, he gets pushed into the ocean here, just in the nick of time, right into water. Um, and you can see nothing. This picture, I mean, even watching the video is very hard to see. If you guys are having trouble, I'll just explain it. It's basically Jamie sinking down, further down into the water, and I'm thinking he's probably going to drown because he's got that metal arm attached to him, and that's probably pulling him down towards the ocean. And I'm also thinking, like, how can he swim? Because he only has one hand. So it's just like, a lot of things to consider here in this scene. But what did you think?
I mean, Bronn's gone that far already. Bronn will pull him out.
Yeah. Oh well. Yeah. I mean, I just the fact that we didn't really see him in this ending shot here is just like, where'd he go? Hello.
It's just like a soap opera, though. If you don't see the body, they're not really dead yet.
Yeah. Let's see. What did you say, Minko? So you said now Jamie better give Bronn 3 castles and 2 wives. The thing is, I think
He's
he
owed
was
it.
married anyway, but that wasn't enough for him. He had a house, a really good house, and it's just like everything. He's always wanting more. So if at some point I think people are gonna get annoyed, and he's just gonna die because of that, because he's just always asking for more. But you know, who knows? Just like more, 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 more. I need a castle. I need money. Castle, money. 2 wives. Castle, money. Like you know what? I want the throne. That's probably what's gonna be the next. Like I want the Iron Throne. But alright, so let's see here. I think that's all the images here. So far, this episode, I would rank this. I mean, this episode. I got the most feels from this episode, man. Like I like all the episodes were good. We're going on a good roll here with the first 3, and now we're at number 4. What do you think though? Like about the first from where the season's heading so far? Like I think this is just great.
I don't think there are enough episodes left in the season for us to
Yeah.
see any kind of real confrontation between the White Walkers and humanity. But it's definitely gonna bring the the war for Cersei's war for the Seven Kingdoms, the war for the Iron Throne, is gonna be
I
pretty
mean,
much decided by the end of the season. I think
I
that's
don't
gonna
even
pretty
think
much
that
be
she's gonna die just yet. Like, I think she's gonna go all the way down, all the way towards like where she has to actually face the White Walkers. I mean, I want her to be able, I want to see her make that actual choice to, sorry, excuse me. I want to see her make that choice to like forget my enemies. We got White Walkers to deal with, and then we'll go back to the enemies later. Like, I want to actually see her make that choice. But you know, who knows? We might not see it. We maybe we will, maybe we won't. Who
You
knows?
figure for for anybody that's south of the neck, the White Walkers are never going to be real until they see the White Walkers. I mean,
Right.
maybe the Archmaester at the Citadel believes now, because obviously Sam must be telling the truth, or he wouldn't be sticking with this bullshit. That's what he said in the previous episode. But yeah, if you grew up in the Reach or if you grew up in Dorne, like you're not believing in that bullshit. Like, you know what I mean? So I kind of envision like when the next season comes around, I don't see it turning out any way other than the North gets routed, because the
Mhm.
if you notice how they change the opening of the show every season, like
Yeah, they
when they're
do. They
pushing
tend
past the
main
wall and they
subjects.
come away from it, the sea at Eastwatch by the Sea looks like it's frozen over. So
Actually,
like there's a lot of discussion on the web, a lot of talk. One of the big fan theories that everybody seems to be subscribing to is that the Night King brings the storm, and
right.
when when they were at Hardhome, which is on the east coast of North of the Wall, like he brings that storm in the
I saw
opener
the
for
storm too. We
the
see it
first
in this
episode.
season. The storm he
Right,
brings.
and they're marching through this frozen over landscape, and some people think that's him marching his army around the wall. So I think the first big fight you're going to see with the White Walkers is going to be, Tormund Giants, Bane, and the Wildlings getting routed at Eastwatch by the Sea. Then they're going to get routed at all the different keeps throughout the north. Winterfell's going to fall. Whoever survives the north is going to have to, run south for refuge, and then the South is going to be confronted with winter.
Well,
Then it's
that's why
going to
I'm
get
just waiting for all the sunny states to turn into snow, because like they said, winter's coming for like the longest time, and now it's winter's here, but then I'm still not seeing it. Just like it seems sunny still in Dawn, and it seems sunny still in King's Landing, so why is this winter's here crap still here? But Minko is asking, what do we rate this episode? He says he gives it an 8.5. So you want to do it a 1 out of 10? So I rank, shoot, right now I think I would just give it an 8. Like out of the
well.
other episodes, I don't know. Hmm.
I'm fortunate enough to to have on demand and everything, and the ability to pause live TV and everything. 2017 is a great fucking year, right? And
Yeah.
the thing is, I had not I mixed my rum and coke, and I sat down to watch the episode, but I hadn't gone to the bathroom prior to watching the episode. And when she's riding Drogon over top of the Horde, and all the noise the Horde was making that you mentioned, the Lannister men are already kind of shaking, like, oh my god, like
Yeah,
this
exactly. I
strange
saw
new
that. I was seeing them
language,
shake. I was
these
like, ooh.
strange new battle cries, like what's going on, like, and then Drogon appears out of the fucking clouds, right? And it's like, okay, it's about to get real. Shit's getting exciting. And then like the look on her face, and like the look of fucking foregone conclusion of triumph here. And then she says, Dracarys, just so much fucking attitude. Like I had to
Like
pause, like I had to go and
Dracarys.
pee right then. Like, and I've never watched a television show or a movie for that matter that made me have to pause to go ahead and use the bathroom. I'm giving this shit an 11. Fuck that. That shit, that battle sequence, like you, they build these dragons up and build them up and build them up.
Right.
Ever since back in the day, years ago, and they're cute little
Yeah, I
slippery
remember.
things hanging around her arms and curling around her neck and shit, like my pet snake when I was 12. And now like to see them finally take the field, even though it's just one of them, you finally see what they can do, and like however much money they paid that team to animate that scene,
Yeah, the dragon. Yeah, they do. I think that's
they
where
did
most of their
not
money is going toward the battle sequences.
they
'Cause
did
it does
not pay
require a
them
lot.
enough. Like that was amazing production value. I cannot get
I
11.
mean, compared, it's not a movie,
There's no
so
one
it's
to
pretty good. Yeah, I mean,
hang.
compared to
Right,
where
like
some shows go, like they know
there's
some
no
CGI is
limiting
just
scene for
terrible.
that episode. That episode was I don't know how they're going to maintain that kind of level of detail and that kind of immersion.
I mean,
Like suspension
it's
of
Game of
disbelief
Thrones
isn't
just has a huge
amazing, but
fan base as well. Like that's where all the fan base's money goes to a good cause, and we're seeing it here on screen.
I
Um,
will admit to owning two T-shirts with the with House Stark's emblem on it.
oh, actually, I would actually
Two
like to get a
different
Valyrian sword.
designs.
I don't know where I would put it, but I'll just be like, hey, put it right here in the corner. Like I want to wear maybe hang it up somewhere later. Minko said the budget is more than Battle of the Bastards. Actually, that's what I kind of got that feel when Bronn was running through the field there. When he was like trying to get to the Scorpion, you saw all the stuff in his way. That's what I kind of got the
Right.
feel of the Battle of the Bastards feel. I
With
was like,
that one Dothraki chasing him the whole time, like he
I
just
was like,
wanted
come
one of
on, man,
them.
can you just like? There's so many other
Like there's so
people.
many other people to kill here. Just like
Exactly.
let him do what he's gonna
Like, let
do.
him go. Like, he's just like, I'm going after Bran. The fact, then the way he cut, like, I like the Dothraki strategy also. Like, instead of going for Bran, he goes for the horse. I was like, ooh. You see the horse's leg just gets chopped off. I was feeling bad for the horse because nobody put that horse to sleep. Like, like that horse
It
has to
kind of
wait.
surprised me that the Dothraki would take that tactic as much
Yeah,
as
because they're
horses
not
are
really
essential
strategic.
for their
Yeah.
life. You know, like just it was kind of like watching an Indian kill a cow. Like this isn't. It doesn't make sense. This just seems wrong somehow.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, but I thought it was pretty cool though. I mean, yeah, you can, yeah, they're probably in a better scenario. I think he would have definitely just gone straight against the Braun and just went headed toe on toe and see we would have saw who won. But I think it was them trying to actually rush the scene also, like them just trying to get Braun to the Scorpion. Because as soon as he got flown off that horse, he ran towards the Scorpion. He was
Yeah.
just like, crap! Ran towards it. Miko, you said Dothraki trained to kill since they were 5. Yeah, I mean, like, but the thing is, like, how were they trained? Were they trained strategically, or they just trained bronze and no brains? Like, like, who knows? I mean, they probably mention it in the books, though. I mean, we have to think about the Mongolians and how they were trained. I think that's where their their inspiration came from. But all right. So thank you guys so much for watching. I want to go a little bit over. Did you watch the trailer for the next episode yet?
I did not.
Oh, you didn't want. Oh, okay, then we won't go over
Well,
it
I
this one.
usually don't. Just because
Oh, you want to stay
for
out of
me,
it?
if I watch the trailer, then I'm just like the whole fucking week, like come on, come on, come on.
I watched it because I just feel like I want to know more, like what's gonna happen in the next scene. Like it's just like so I can know what to expect. Because I don't like being like the way they left it off with Jamie just floating down towards the middle. I mean, floating down the ocean. I was just like, oh, does he die or does he get captured again? Like, we still. I mean, it's a possibility that he gets captured. You see. I'm not gonna talk. Okay, so I won't talk about the trailer. Um, but go watch it. It's really good. Like it's just I mean it's not like watching an episode, but it's just like it's satisfying for me just to be like, "Oh, thank God." You know. But alright guys, so thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any TV shows you want us to do a podcast over, go ahead and put them in the comment section or just tweet them at me. Um, my Twitter's not in the description. This is not my usual YouTube that I use. I'm using this for podcasting now. So the next thing after Game of Thrones, we'll be doing The Walking Dead. I think. Do you watch The Walking Dead? I do have other people to watch The Walking Dead. Um, but what about you? Do you watch The Walking Dead?
Not as avidly as I used to. I still watch it, but
It's
not as
really
closely.
good, especially the direction that they're going in right now. But at first, I wasn't as interested. I was just like, yeah, I'll watch an episode maybe tomorrow, or. But now I'm just like, wow, this has actually gotten good. I mean, it's not
I saw a
Game of
trailer that
Thrones.
seemed to suggest that old man Rick is gonna wake up from a coma and all of this will
Yeah,
unfold.
no, but they talk.
And I think that'll be really stupid.
Matt Pat went and talked to the, I don't know if it was the creator or the producer or whatever, but he confirmed that that's not gonna happen. They said that either the creator or the writer, whichever one, there was like, yeah, that he's not asleep. That's not gonna happen. So I was like, okay, so that theory's thrown out the window. That's like that reminds me of Pokemon when they said Ash Ketchum is in a coma. I was just like, yeah, I don't think that's happening either. Because he's always 10, but whatever, it makes sense. But but yeah, so if you guys want to see more TV shows, TV show podcasts, like next episode of Game of Thrones next Sunday we'll be doing. I'll probably have to do it on Monday though because it takes me a while to get these images. But you can always subscribe to my channel k.card. I'll actually put that in the chat right now. K.card is my actual YouTube channel I use all the time. I do streams of video games there. Make sure if you like, you can go and check that out. And I also have my Twitch channel, which is pretty much the same as my name. And my tablet is acting up. That's my Twitch name here. So feel free to go and check that out if you like. And also, I would like to thank you, Pink, for joining me. Any last words to everybody here who joined? I want to thank you guys as well. Minko, thank you so much for joining us. Pink, you got anything to say?
Dracarys.
Oh my god. Said that at the very beginning. I would like to say the North remembers and Lannister always pays his debts. That has no relevance to how I end the stream. But, I would thank you everybody here who decided to join and comment. And, but also, post your comments of also what you think about this episode. And, we'll see you guys in the next, podcast. Alright? In the
Hodor.
meantime, guys, Hodor. That's so last season, or was that the season before last season? All right, guys. Peace. Karma 90's out. That's my name, Karma. I'm Karma. Have a nice night. Have a good night. It's over here. It's pretty late. Oh my gosh.